Hi everybody, in this video we're talking about how to support someone who is grieving the death of a loved one. We'll go through 10 do's and don'ts to help someone in mourning. Welcome to the Health How-To channel where we talk about some great life hacks and easy tips to achieve better health. Please subscribe and share your best tips that you have found to be helpful if you had to support a grieving friend in the comment section below. What was something you found to be truly helpful when you were mourning a death? Pressing the like button will also help get the information to others. If you have someone in your life who you want to help, please share this video with them too. I know today's topic can be a bit of a downer, but like it or not, death is a fact of life. When someone dies, the pain that we feel can be inexplicable and overwhelming. Each relationship is unique and important in its own way. So when it comes time to grieve or mourn, everybody's experience can be different. And it's hard to know what it's like unless you've experienced the loss of a loved one yourself. One thing's for sure, the consensus seems to be that once you've experienced a loss yourself, you'll wish that you had been a better friend to someone who you knew was in mourning. There are some factors that can affect how someone copes with grief. Sometimes the circumstances of the death will be a factor in the grieving process. Was the death expected from natural causes, or maybe from an unexpected violent crime or tragic car accident? Sometimes the death could be the loss of someone we never even got a chance to meet, like a miscarriage. Sometimes we can grieve for the loss of someone who hasn't even passed away. This is called anticipatory grief. Anticipatory grief is when we feel upset, sad, or mournful for someone who will die from a prolonged illness like end-stage cancer, or who has lost their cognitive or physical abilities, such as Alzheimer's disease. When your loved one has progressive dementia, it's like saying a long, drawn-out goodbye over a number of years, and you can feel grief for the loss of who that person once was. It's also important to consider cultural norms when it comes to mourning. Some cultures will openly celebrate someone's passing. They'll display unrestrained emotions as demonstration of their love and respect. Other cultures may consider grief to be private and minimally expressed. They may try to suppress any memories or mention of the deceased. Get on with the living, move on. Some cultures will encourage putting on a happy face despite what they feel inside. Other cultures value prolonged mourning, isolation, and refraining from joyful activities. There's no right or wrong way when it comes to grief. You can go through a roller coaster of emotions from denial to yearning to confusion to hostility to relief. How about if we're trying to support, say, a friend or partner who has just lost a parent or someone close? A lot of people just don't know what to say or what to do. A lot of us feel anxious, scared, and uneasy when it comes to the topic of death. We may avoid the topic altogether or say annoying things that make the person feel terrible. At worst, we disappear completely. So here are 10 do's and don'ts to consider if you want to help someone in mourning. Number 1, don't be afraid to say the name of the person that has passed away. Many people are scared that mentioning the death will trigger bad memories or strong feelings. Well, this person hasn't forgotten, and speaking the name of their loved one can often be a welcome acknowledgement. They will never forget the death of a loved one. Special occasions like birthdays, holidays, and anniversaries can be particularly painful. Ask them if they would like to offer a toast in their memory, set a place at the table, or play a special song. Perhaps they would like to continue a special ritual or create a new ritual to preserve their loved one's memory each year. Number 2, do listen without any judgment. Everybody experiences grief differently. There is no time frame for grief. It could take just a few days to months to several years. For a person who has lost their child, for example, their grief may never leave. Let the person talk about their feelings and emotions freely. You don't need to say anything to fill up the silence. Number 3, Don't try to bring logic into the conversation. Grief is about what the heart feels. Sometimes what they're saying won't make any sense. For instance, someone's denial could be so strong that they refuse to acknowledge the death and insist that the deceased is still alive. Feelings aren't orderly. They don't have to make sense or follow a stepwise progression. Some people don't want to move on from death, so to speak. They can continue to feel an ongoing presence and connection to a loved one long after they've passed. And that's perfectly okay. Number 4, don't say it was their time, everything happens for a reason, or it was God's will, or anything religious if that's not something they believe in. You don't need to rescue them or fix them. You don't need to give them positive messages and say, everything will be okay, or time will heal everything. Avoid any sentences that start with at least. You don't need to use humor to make them feel better. Doing so can make them feel unheard. They may feel that you're dismissing or minimizing their feelings. Number 5, don't tell them what to feel. Saying things like, you shouldn't be angry, or you don't be sad, don't cry, or they wouldn't want you to be sad, or you need to be strong, are not helpful and dismissive of their true feelings. Don't tell them to be grateful for what they have. Let them say what they're really experiencing. There is no right or wrong way to feel. Some people feel relieved, guilty, scared, or outraged about death. Also, don't force them to talk about their feelings if they're not ready. Talking about their grief may not necessarily help them recover faster. Number 6, do help the person in practical ways. It's okay to tell someone, let me know if you need anything. But I wonder how many people will actually take you up on that offer. Their minds are too preoccupied and all they want to do is be alone. Instead, suggest concrete choices. Offer to contact people to let them know about the death. Maybe help with small funeral arrangement details. If applicable, one of the biggest jobs that would be well appreciated is to help with cleaning out the contents of the home. Try taking over some of their home responsibilities like cooking, indoor-outdoor chores, picking up groceries, or cleaning the car. How about helping out with making doctor appointments or driving them to their appointments so that they don't neglect their own healthcare needs? Help them with any family responsibilities like childcare. Maybe take their kids to school or after-school activities, or help out their elderly parents. Perhaps in lieu of flowers, a gift card for a cleaning service or outdoor maintenance may be more helpful. The first couple of weeks after someone's passing is often full of well-meaning offers of support that quickly dies down. The months and possibly years following a death are when a grieving person often feels the most lonely, when the well-wishers retreat back to their own busy lives. Try to continue offering them supportive choices during this crucial time. Even the smallest of gestures can truly make a difference. Number 7, do be observant for poor coping behaviors like heavy drinking, binge eating or undereating, or substance abuse. Many times they'll want to socially isolate and retreat to internet surfing, social media, or gaming. Check on them frequently and alert others to do the same if you see concerning behavior. You may need immediate professional assistance for further direction, especially if they talk about suicide. Encourage them to seek therapy to talk about their depression. There are many support groups in all kinds of formats out there for all the different types of grief. Number 8, don't try to use your own experience with grief to guide theirs. Everybody is unique and goes through the grief process differently. Every relationship is different. Don't assume that they'll want to hear about your experience or listen to your advice. If they want it, they'll ask. Don't try to one-up their experience either. For example, the emotions someone feels from the loss of a pet are just as valid as emotions from the loss of a parent. You can't judge the hierarchy of someone's relationships, and you can't assume that kids or someone with different cognitive abilities mean that they don't fully experience grief either. Number 9, do let them experience happiness without judgment. Emotions are not always black and white. You can have mixed emotions like happiness and sadness simultaneously. Reassure them, kids especially, that it's okay to feel excited and joyful about events or special activities, even if a loved one has passed away recently. And just because they're smiling, it doesn't mean they're over their grief. And number 10, do accompany them and let them lead when it comes to choosing activities. Maybe they would welcome a distracting activity or sharing a meal together. Maybe they would love to learn something new. Maybe they would love to go away on vacation or even stay at your place for a couple of nights for a change of scenery. But please, don't be upset if they cancel at the last minute. If you have some great suggestions to help someone who is in mourning, or if you are coping with grief, I'd really appreciate it if you could share them down below in the comments section. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any health how-to videos where we talk about easy ways to improve your health. Also, please press that like button because it can really help get this information to those that need it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.